Excellent. Matt, first off, thank you for having the time to speak with me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I love the artwork you've got going on back there.
Oh,
That's really
oh,
cool.
thank you very much. First off, I have to start off by saying first, I hope everything's good with you, your friends, your family, and everybody else, especially with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And I want to start off by saying it. Now you're less than a week away from after a bumpy, to say the kindest 2020 with WandaVision now ready to premiere and to see eyeballs. How are you feeling in this moment?
I'm really excited. I'm excited to share what's been a labor of love for all of us who've worked on the show with the world. And I think it really is a good time for WandaVision. I think the world needs a show that is for the whole family, that is comedy, that is has a big heart, and adventure and mystery and all of those things. So I'm feeling good about launching it out now.
Excellent. It's also it from a Marvel Studios standpoint and from Marvel overall standpoint, it's also going to be the first entry on Disney Plus for Marvel Studios, and it's also going to be setting a tone for Phase Four. Now, no pressure or anything like that. Um, when did you find out about that? And when you found out, did it change how you approached WandaVision from that point forward, or was it just something that's like here and WandaVision's here?
Yeah, it didn't really change anything we were doing. I mean, obviously, we've been making the same show for the last couple of years, focused on doing the best job we could with it. And when circumstances changed and we ended up being the first to launch, it didn't change the work at all, but it did feel kind of right in a way that the first streaming show from Marvel Studios would be this giant love letter to the history of television. So, things end up working out for a reason, and I'm happy about it. I think it makes sense.
It, the, our couple, Wanda and Vision, as popular as those characters have been in the comic books and on the screen, there's just something about those two together that people just love them and root for them and just want them to work. What is it about them individually and as a couple that just it's just we want them to succeed. We want them to have their happily ever after.
Yeah, I'm as taken with them as everybody else. I mean, they're so different, which I think is part of their charm. She is this person who's suffered so much trauma and loss and is so fiery, and he is this synthezoid who's part human but maybe seems more human than any of us and seems to be this great philosopher of humanity who gets it, and he's calm and she's this fire, and they kind of come together. It's this classic opposites attract, but you root for them, and you see how they complete each other and how that works for them. And I think we've all been heartbroken seeing what happened to Vision in Infinity War, and we root for Wanda. We've seen her lose her brother. We've seen her lose so many things in life. So that's, I think, part of it. And then also part of it is Paul and Lizzie are amazing, and they have so much chemistry together, and they also are just brilliant actors as well. And I think it's a huge testament to them, as well as the writing and the directing around their work in those Avengers movies, is that in a very crowded world with there's not a lot of real estate for those two characters, they pop. You root for them. You are engaged in their story, and they make you laugh, and you feel for them, and they make you cry, all with very little screen time relatively. So the chance to be able to take those two characters and tell this story over 9 episodes is great. And man, they deserve it, and it's really fun.
Fine. You had touched upon this before, and not to go into spoilers, touching upon things most of the viewers I think already know. One of the things that really stuck out for me is it just how deftly it blends the funny with the truly disturbing if you give it a second, in the sense that the former makes the latter even that much more disturbing. The sitcom aspect especially stands out. How important was it for you to get those sitcom decades right? And is there an example of just how far you went to make sure they were accurate?
Yeah, no, super important. I mean, we wanted to make sure that each of those sitcom eras was 100% authentic. We didn't want anyone to think we were parodying those shows, that this was a spoof in some way. This was the reality of those episodes. This is the reality for those characters. And so to that end, we went to the lengths, to the end of the world and back to try to make it work. We had lunch with Dick Van Dyke and picked his brain about how to do that. We, read every book there was about behind the scenes of these different shows that were our inspirations. We watched the episodes. We went to the film archives so we could see the actual original prints to sort of make sure that we understood what they actually looked like at the time, not just how they looked through 40 generations of DVDs. And we were careful with our wardrobe and our hair, and our dialect coach was there for how people spoke at the time and how they would sit and stand and walk and move. And we watched countless episodes, and we did sitcom boot camp with the actors, where we watched all these episodes and tried on styles, because comedy changes. It changes over time. And even though those actors were trying to do the same thing in every era, which is do something that connected, that felt grounded, that was funny, the style changed around it, and how far you could go and what was funny, that changed. And so we had to make sure we were riding that wave correctly.
Now I have to ask you the standard one-word description question. I just have to. I think by law, I'm required once a year to do it. Okay. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Matt. Coming out of WandaVision, if you had to describe the state of the Marvel Universe Phase 4 in one word, what would you say? So
is the question coming out of WandaVision? So when WandaVision is over, where is Phase 4?
What would you say the status of the Phase 4 universe is?
Oh, awesome.
Nice. Very nice on so many levels. I like that. That's a very good answer. For a final question, I need to ask, separate from WandaVision, from you personally, what is your geek guilty pleasure? What's getting you through the days? Any level, comics, movies, video games, anything like that?
It's funny. I'm absolutely the right guy for this job, because I love watching old TV. I love watching old movies. I also love watching Marvel stuff. I have been a fan of Marvel comics since I was a little kid. And, an MCU movie is what I watch when I'm down. That or, some great old Hitchcock movie or something. So, this show really was the perfect show for me, because it blends absolutely my two interests. Excellent.
Matt, I really want to thank you for the opportunity today. I really appreciate it. Again, just without spoiling for anybody who see this, it's fantastic. It really is. And I think it's a great and an amazing start for Marvel Studios on Disney+. Excellent job. And also, love your work on Always Sunny.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the time.
No problem. So take care.
You too. Bye-bye.